Well, hello everybody. So we're going to start the value delivery session for interns. And well, first of all, why is good servicing important? Why is important to know all the steps to give a good experience to our trainees? So first of all, because of the satisfaction that we have to meet during the for the EPs during all the experience, because if if they're satisfied after this experience, they will be promoters. So it has to do with the free promotion that they can do after the experience. Also, because if they are satisfied with their experience, they can help us to showcase it with their friends or in social media. So and also because it can help us to get longer relationships with the both with the trainees, with the interns, and with the companies. Also because in the end, it's all related with our leadership development model. Because if we meet all the requirements of the criteria that we have to carry out during all the the AIESEC experience for trainees, we will be able to develop our leadership development model, which consists as I guess you know, of four elements: empowering others, solution-oriented, world citizen, and self-aware. So just imagine like, or usually, no, well, not usually, but when the OGX people of other countries, when they get their trainees or when they get their EPs, they usually they will say how amazing their AIESEC experience is going to be. So just imagine that they arrive here and in the end they don't get all what they promised. So they're going to be all confused because they are not getting what they were promised. So that is another reason why we have to give them a good experience. And well, but before, um, I was going to show you a video, but I think it's not going to be able to send it in the PPT. But okay, anyway, it had to do with uh, an episode of The Simpsons, but I hope you will get some of the memes that you will see during the presentation. So first of all, during the whole AIESEC experience of trainees, now we have the standards and satisfaction, which are the minimum standards of quality that we have to meet during the whole experience. So if you see, some of them are labeled with host and home, which means that those that have home at the beginning, though they have to be met by the home LC, and the others have to be met by us, by the LCs that are um, well receiving the training. So here we have 16 standards of quality that we have to meet, and I will explain every single one of them during the whole presentation. So if you don't meet the standards of satisfaction, that's a bad line, which means that on one side, it's going to be very sad, and it's going to be very bad also for the MPS that you can get for your LC. So you better meet all the standards of satisfaction for your training. Then we're going to start with the communication with the home LC, and because in that way we're going to see if some of the standards that the home LC has to meet, if they have already taken responsibility of them, of AIESEC purpose, if if they have already talked to the intern about the purpose of the organization, and if they have offered the trainee some of the leadership development spaces that they can give us, for example, the OPS. We can do this either by phone or by Skype by being in contact with the home LC or by email to know like do your trainees know about, for example, the HPPs or some of the basic things of ISEC, and if not, to see how they can do it or to see how we can provide this information to the trainees. Then after this, so the first, let's say, one of the first touch points with the trainees is going to be the introduction email that we're going to send them. So for you to be easier to do this the part of the email, we have already we have already written an introduction email that you can find in the drive that has all the documents of value delivery. So you can basically just fill or replace the parts in red with the information of your EP and the company with information of the opportunity, and then it's going to be much easier. You can check it and then you can change it according to your reality, but it's basically something that most LCs or all the agencies have to do. So you have to do this. You have to send this first email, and this email has to contain an introduction of ourselves, the following detailed steps that they are going to carry out before they arrive in France. We can recommend you to add a welcome image, like saying "Welcome to France. You have been selected for this experience." So that's highly recommended because it's going to make more interesting the email. Then you can also arrange a Skype meeting with the intern with AP, so that you can also explain them everything that they have to do. And also, you have to send them the necessary documents, for example, as the XPPs and any other document that they may need for the following steps. So first, let's make this first impression in the email. So great that they are going to be just like SpongeBob here in this image, and they will be so excited to already be in France. Also, another very important part of the of one of the standards that we have to meet is the expectation setting, which is based one of the things that is included within the expectation setting is to make sure that interns or EPs know very well or are aware of the XPPs, which are the exchange program policies. You can check this document in the drive, and some of the things that the XPPs talk about are the responsibilities, obligations, and rights of ISEC, the intern, and the company. So please also take a look at them and and make sure that your trainee also does. And if you don't read the XPPs, also that's a bad link. Then the immigration procedure. So for this, we have already done a webinar in which you can also check the all the procedure of for migration, but you can also check the booklet in which you're going to find all the steps that you and your intern have to follow. And we must do this, of course, because that is one of the most important standards that we have to meet. Otherwise, they will not be able to be here. So please be very careful about all the steps for migration and check the booklet and the webinar. And if you don't do the migration right, of course, that's a bad link. Then for the medical insurance, that's also one of the standards that we have to meet. So before they come, they must have a medical insurance. That's something fundamental. And one of some of the requirements that this insurance m- must have are full coverage during for all the time that they're going to be here in their internship. They have to be in English and French, or if they can be in both, that would be better. Because in this way, if there happens to be an emergency, we will be able um, to know what is the insurance saying. It has to also be signed by hand and cover also repatriation. Well, that's something very important. If there is no medical insurance, of course, again, that's a bad link. Also, something very important is to get to know your intern before they come, because in that way you will be able to know what to expect from them and how to also give a better servicing for them. So one of the things that you can do is send them this web form that we have created for you, which it's about health conditions of the intern. And with this, we will be able to know more about if they have any kind of allergies, if they are taking medication, if they have had any kind of medical problems, and what is their emergency contact. So if you send them this web form, it's going to be much easier for you, mainly for BPs, because it's BPs who are in the polio space, for you to know all the information of them, and then you will be able to act according to the information that you have there. Then something else that, from my point of view, is very cool is to send them this other web form we have created for you, which we call a wish list. Because in this wish list, in this web form, we are asking them mainly like their opinion about France, the places that they would like to visit, the activities that they would like to do, their customs or habits, and their expectations towards integration. And why is this important? Because in this way, as I told you before, we will be able to know more our interns, and we will be able to prepare their experience according to their personality or to their expectations also, of course. So I would highly recommend you to send it. And also you can send it during the introduction email. So, well, VPs are those who have the access to that, and you will be able to have all the information of your VPs there. And also, not knowing your interns in advance, of course, that's a problem. Then the booklet, with the booklet, we're covering one of the standards, which is preparation, because we have to let them know uh, as much as possible of the things that they're going to find here in France. For example, we have a national booklet that you can also find in the drive that has all the value delivery documents. So in the booklet, you can find information about language, basic things about language, what's the currency that we use here, the holidays, some of the holidays, some of the traditional food, the good manners in France, transfer, communication, like some of the country codes, what are the first, some of the mobile companies, where to buy, banks, some of the indeterminate emergency numbers, contact information of the LC, and some other things about the country. And this is also very good because in this way the intern is going to be prepared. We will be able to know what to expect from France before arriving, which is something very good before they arrive. And also, if you want to do your own booklet, you can do it. You can adapt it according to your city, and in this way, they will know more things specifically about the place they are going to visit. There are also other things about preparation that they have, but that we have to meet that they have to be aware of. Something is immigration and arrival, which covers the standard number one of visa and work permit. So they have to know that we have to let them know that the immigration procedure doesn't finish. It's not like getting the visa, but that when they arrive, they have to do also another procedure, which you can also check in the immigration booklet. So interns have to be aware of this. And also something else that they have to know before arriving to before coming is what kind of expenses they are going to do. For example, that they are going to pay the first month of their accommodation. But basically their first month of living is going to be covered by them because they are going to get their first payment at the end of the month. So they have to be aware of this. And I have found a very interesting I have found a very interesting webpage in which you can enter the name of any city you want to know the costs of, and it will let you know the cost of many things like the rent or like food or basic services. So you can pass them this webpage, and in it they can type, I don't know, Paris or Bordeaux or Rams or any other city in France, and they will be able to know what are some of the costs of living more or less. So this will help you a lot to prepare them for the first month expenses. Also, something very important is that let them know about some of the activities that they can have during their experience. For example, if you are planning to prepare a global village or an LC meeting in which you can invite them, or maybe an LC day. And also, this is part of integration, of which I will be talking more in the following slides. So you have to let them know about this because they can share their culture during these events with the rest of the AIESEC, of the members of your LC. So you can ask them to bring, for example, the flag of their country, some souvenirs, or some traditional clothes that they can bring, for example. And I think this is going to be something very cool for them because if we give them some spaces to share their culture, they will feel also more appreciated and integrated into our culture. So I also highly recommend you to do this because it will also add to the satisfaction of your trainees. Okay, so basically during their preparation, they should be so before they come, they should know everything they need to know before coming, of course, so that they are as happy as this SpongeBob here. And well, if you have any other question about what else they need to know for the preparation, just will ask me or let me know. And of course, if there is not a good preparation, that's also a bad leg. Then something very important, of course, is accommodation because that's another standard that we have to meet. So before the intern comes, we have to be prepared with some options of accommodation that we are going to give them. So we have to take into account the neighborhood, that it's not, well, maybe not that far from the place they are going to live. Yeah, we have to take into account what the rent includes, if it includes maybe the cost of water or electricity, or if that's possible, or it has to be paid apart. And we also have to take into account, of course, the budget of the interns. So when looking for accommodation, we have to take into account these main things. And some of your interns will be asking you if you already know where they are going to be staying. So it's better to be prepared to answer to these questions, and also because it will be easier for them to find a place to stay here. So also if during the first days they can stay at the place of one of your the members of yours, that would be great. If that's not possible, well, you will have to prepare your intern and let them know where they can stay while they find a fixed accommodation. But anyway, whatever you decide for your trainees before they find a fixed accommodation, please let them know what are the options before they arrive, of course. Of course, this kind of house is not an option because this location and stuff. So please be very careful on what are the options that you're giving to your intern because also having a good accommodation is something very important for the experience of your intern. Something else that we have to prepare before they arrive is the welcome package. So we have some minimums, which I think are not going to cost much or nothing at all. For example, you can get the map of your city and one of the touristic offices of your city. You can also get some brochures of, for example, theaters, of events, of museums that you can add to the welcome package. You can also get a nice French flag, or this is, for example, a bandana. Actually, this one is mine. And we're recommending you to give them this because, for example, as you see here, at the end of their experience, all the people that knew your trainee can sign their flag, and that will be one of the best souvenirs that they can get back home. So, for example, in my case, I'm already getting a souvenir from my classmates in Bordeaux, which is going to be one of the best souvenirs I'm going to get from France. So I highly recommend you to do this. And for example, the bandana doesn't cost that much. Yeah, I think it costs less than 5 euros. I think it costs much, much more less than that. And I don't really know how much costs a flag, but I don't think it's going to cost that much. Anyway, the bandana is also a good option. And well, also something else that you can give them is information about the transport. So maybe you can go to the office, the transportation office of the public transportation office of your city, and they can give you uh, free brochures about how much it costs to get, for example, a pass for a month or for a week or whatever. So these are very basic things that you can add to the welcome package, which are not going to be expensive at all. And then if you want to give them something more to your trainee, you can also give them, for example, French candy, like something. It doesn't have to be like a lot, just something to let them try some of the delicious desserts that they can find here in France. I'm putting here, for example, macaron. But I know that, for example, in your cities you can find different kind of candies. So you can give them the tradition a try of a traditional candy of your city. You can also give them a little souvenir, like a keychain, for example. And also, it would be really cool if they don't come from the European Union. If it would be really cool to give them an electric adapter, a plug adapter. So these are only options for you to give them something when they arrive, and you can give them this when you go for them to the airport. So yes, so it's all in the end it will be up to you, but I will highly recommend you to give them at least the minimums because it will also add to the satisfaction of your trainee. So the reception on arrival, so that's another very important standard that we definitely have to meet. Because imagine that you arrive to a country where you know no one, and you arrive to the airport and there's no one there, and you don't know where you're going to live. So just put yourself on the shoes of your interns, how they can feel if we don't go for them to the airport. So also remember to do for your interns what you would like other people to do if you take an AIESEC experience. So the arrival tickets is something very very special, I think, from my point of view. And you can, it would be also very cool if you can get something with the logo of ISEC so that they can recognize you, of course, and so that you can get like a nice picture like the ones you have here. So in order to have a good preparation for the arrival, be careful of having in advance the information of the flight ticket of your trainee, which you can of course ask some what as soon as your trainee gets their flight ticket, so that you know exactly what time they're going to arrive, and all these kind of things. Get also their contact information, so that you're in constant contact with them. If, for example, if there was any kind of delay, so that they can let you know, and you don't wait for them more, or they wait for you more time. So please be very careful in terms of logistics, and to know who is going to be able from your LC. It would be very cool if someone from the ICX area can do it. But if it happens to not be possible, you can, I think, also have someone else from the members. Or if it would be even better if a group of your LC goes, because I think that if you arrive to a new place and you see a lot of people receiving you, it will be very cool. So I highly recommend you this. But we definitely we must do pick up our interns as soon as they arrive. And of course, no arrival pickup. That's a bad link. Communication with home LC and family. So even when nowadays there is a lot of social networks, and it can seem like obvious that they are going to be in touch with their family as soon as they arrive. I think it's going to be also nice if we very will check that they do this, so that, for example, their family are not worried about them, and they know that they can also trust ISEC and stuff. And also, you can you you should be in contact with the you should be in contact with the home LC, since they are in match until, well, their ISEC experience finishes. But as soon as you receive their trainee, please get in contact with the home LC, so that you let them know, well, we have already picked the intern. um, he or she is fine, so he's staying at this place. This day, he or she is going to have their first day of work, so everything is going cool. If you have any questions, so let me know. So please, I think that if we get a good communication between both LCs, the experience is also going to be much better. Then also here, well, in the migration booklet, you can check everything about immigration. So, but it's of course very important that as soon as the trainees get here, that they get their immigration procedure done. So please again check the immigration booklet and the um, the webinar in which everything is explained. Then the interbody. So we before even before the trainee arrives, it's important to know who is going to be their intern body, because also this person, it would be highly recommended that they go to pick up the intern to the airport. So the intern body, their main responsibilities can be to show them the city, to let to show them how to use transportation, how to move from their work to their home place. um, because imagine you arrive to a new place where you don't know anything, and some people are good at getting uh, are good at being located in a city, but some people get lost easily. If so, it would be better if there is someone that can let them know how to move within the city. Also, this person can help them to finish their migration procedure, to get a bank account, which is very important because it's where they're going to be getting their payment every month, and a mobile number. Also, this person can help them, can be the main one to help them with accommodation, and of course integration, which is something very important. I'm going to be talking about much later. How this person can go to pick the intern to the airport. The first day of work is another standard that we definitely must meet, uh, which is simply to that someone, a representative from ISEC, has to go with the intern to the company, which it 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 should be the person that is having the relationship with the company, because that way they will know that person in advance when they introduce the intern to them. So you can take advantage of this day to, well, to show the intern how to get to the workplace, uh, hear expectations from both parties, for example, to clarify the JD, that there is nothing new, that there is nothing that has changed, that expectations are right, and know also who's going to be the direct supervisor of the intern, because in that way we will be able to know how's the performance of of our interns. So it's also, of course, very important that we meet this standard. The incoming preparation seminar, it's like the OPS, like the incoming preparation seminar, for of course for our interns. We will be designing more the content of these sessions, but you can already give them the topics that we are presenting you here. So expectations of the intern, so which can be a session very quick in which you ask them what are their expectations towards the LC, like what they want the LC to do for them, but of course within the limits of that we have, as I said, that of within the limits that we can, until which we can reach. What are their expectations towards the company, towards the experience? What are their professional experiences, and what are their personal experiences towards the whole experience? Then also, if they don't know the expertise, again, it's very important that they know that what are their rights, responsibilities, and obligations. Also, make them aware about their inner and outer journey. Also, talk with them about the cultural shock, because maybe in the OPS they already got information about cultural shock, but they have to know the specific cultural shock that they can get here in France according to their culture. And some and also the in this event we can take advantage of it to let our interns know what kind of events the ALC is going to be having, so that they know that we would like them to be there to share their culture with the rest of the members. And with the common preparation seminar, we will be meeting two standards, which are the individual responsibility and goals, and it can also be a leadership development spaces that we as hosts are are giving to the intern. Then the welcome event. So this is a picture of me, actually, like it was like 2 weeks after I started my IESEC experience in 2015, and it was only a picnic that we prepared for the first intern that we got, and this was our welcome event. So it doesn't have to be like a very big event. It can also be like a little space where many members of the LC are gathered, and well, you share a little bit of your culture, so that the intern knows that he's well received, he's well welcome. Um, so you can either do a picnic, for example, or you can just go to a restaurant, for example, or present your the intern to the rest of the members in an ISEC gathering, for example. Or if you want to do something else, you can also do a party if you want. But it's also very highly recommended because from this point starts the integration to the Chinese, which is something very important. Then the bank account is something very important. I mean everything that we that we're presenting here is of course very important, but this is important because it's where they're going to be getting their payment during the whole internship. So remember that they are coming to a country of which they don't know much about, even when they already have the booklet and and all these kind of things. But sometimes procedures can be very different to from our country to the country that we are arriving. So if there is someone that can help them to get their bank account, that's going to be also well, amazing for the experience of the intern. So here we have two banks that some of our LCs have already um, recommended to our interns. So you can also recommend it to your interns and just you can make sure of what are the things, what are the requirements that they need to get a bank account. You can go and help them during the first days. And I think it's also very important that someone goes with them to the to get the bank account because of the language thing. Because maybe if you get someone that is not native French, but still that they can speak French, I don't know if they can get some kind of problems. And if someone from here goes and knows the language and knows how are the procedures, I think it's going to be much easier for them. Then integration with healthy and culture. So if this is something of course very important and fundamental because I think the integration is going to be one of the things that are going to make decide the trainee if either they had a good or a bad experience. So integration it's something very easy. You can, as I was telling you before, you can only do it by inviting your interns to your LC meetings to let them know like how is the ICE experience, how is the organizational culture that we have here, how we work and stuff. If you can also if you prepare a global village, of course, invite them. If you, I know that some of your LCs have like to have parties, so if you invite your interns, I think it's going to be also very cool. So you can also invite them to the conferences. I know that in, for example, in Reload we had one intern. I sorry, really don't remember from which LC it was, but I think it's also something that they can do. If we have another youth speak forum, of course you can also invite them, and also you can do some very simple things like I don't know, asking them if they would like to go have a coffee or if they want to go and visit any part of the city. And well, this is also why we are providing you with the web form of the wish list, because in this way you will be able to know what kind of integration activities you can do with them. And also, guys, you have an amazing culture. So, and that is one of the reasons that many people want to come here to France. So I think that that is an opportunity that we have to demonstrate how amazing is the French culture and to let them know that they chose right when they chose France. So please do integration right, because that's also going to demonstrate in your results for the Net Promoter Score. So if there is no integration, that's a bad line, of course. Of course, you can also benefit from the interns. And how is that? That's during their whole experience, you can, for example, do promotional videos to which will also add to the visibility of ISEC, which you can then upload to the to your Facebook page, for example. But again, if you're doing a right servicing, it's going to be much easier for you to get a promotional video, because if they are getting a good experience with them, when you ask them, "Oh, can you please tell us about your experience in a video?" They will say yes immediately. So they will be able to tell, for example, what they are learning in the company, what they are learning during in all the experience, how they feel during all this time, and if they only say cool things, it's going to be very beneficial, of course, for the promotion of your LC. So it also has to do with the testimonials. It can also help you with recruitment. So imagine getting your interns in some of the meetings some of the sessions you have for OGX to talk about the program, so you can get your intern, and they will see that like French students will be able to see that it's true, that, that they can trust us, and then our intern will be able to tell the testimonial. If, for example, also maybe they can share some of their knowledge with the LC in some of the LC meetings. Also, if they are if they, because often you also get IESECers in internships, so maybe they can also share some of their knowledge of IESEC in the LC meetings. Of course, they can promote IESEC within the company or within your city or in their country. But again, they are only going to promote IESEC if they are getting a good experience. So let's make sure that we give them a good experience so that they promote it more. And imagine if they promote IESEC within the company, it can eventually mean that we can get more internships open within this company. Communication. So this is also very fundamental during the whole AIESEC experience that they are going to get. It has to be constant. At least, I will say that at least once a week. If you don't get to be like very good friends with them, which I hope yet that you get to be very good friends with your intern, uh, at least do it, I think, once a week to know how they are doing. If they happen to have any complaints, that we of course expect them not to have any complaints. If we can help them in anything, if they are getting any kind of problem, or also we can ask them if we can improve in any kind of work or service. So please be in constant communication with your trainee. You can decide with them also within the first days or in the first day what are going to be the channels. For example, if you're going to be using Facebook or any other kind of social network. But if there happens to be a kind of problem, like a big problem, which I hope there isn't any, please try to maintain communication through emails, because in this way it's going to be more formal and it's going to be better to give it a follow-up. But well, in general, so communication, please try to maintain it constant, and in this way, it will also add to the satisfaction of your trainees. So if there is no communication, that's also bad news. So follow-up. We have to. There are three standards that are related to this, which is we which is job description, the duration of the internship, and the working hours. So why are they related? Because we have to make sure that during the whole experience, these three standards, these three characteristics of the opportunities are met. So we have to make sure that the job description didn't change at all, that the duration is being the same, that it's not going to be less or more, and that the working hours are still the same, that they are not giving the trainee especially more time to work. Why? Because also within the expectation setting that we give to the trainees. So imagine if you go to an ISEC, if you take an internship, because well, most of you have to take uh, internships for your school. So imagine that at the beginning you were told some of the things that your internship is going to be, and in the end it results that it's not like that. So of course you're going to be very disappointed. So we don't want that for our interns. So please make sure to be in constant contact with the company and constant contact with your intern to make sure that nothing has changed. And if it happens to be that the company wants to change something, it has to be agreed between the three of you, within the company, between ISEC and the trainee. It cannot there cannot be like a change just like that. So please make sure of this. So we also have to follow up. We have to follow up the performance of the intern. That's one of the reasons why we want to know again who's the right representative of the intern to know if they are doing right. If they also if the company has any kind of complaint about the trainee or the intern. We hope no. We have to follow up, of course, satisfaction with the company and any complaints that they may have. So this is, of course, again, very important and fundamental. If there is no follow-up, that's a problem, of course. Certification. So in the drive of the value delivery documents, there is a template of a certification that I think it can improve. At least the design is the thing that can improve. But at least with that, you have an example of one of how we can give out a certification to our interns. And well, just some of the characteristics that it can have is the kind of program that they are carrying out, which is of course VIP. The name of the company, the start and end dates, their responsibilities during the internship, the date of issue, the signature of the LCP, the signature of the company representative, and the stamp of the LC, and also the stamp of the company if they happen to have one. So this is going to be also very cool for your interns because in this way they will be able to prove that like in a written form, that they did an internship with ISEC. So please make sure that you give them something like this. And their firewall. The firewall can consist also of a little. So if in the end, I think from my point of view that if in the end you give them a good ISEC experience, you're going to be very good friends, and you will want to give them a farewell party. So in this farewell party, you can invite well the people the the intern met during their experience, also people from the LC, and and I think that the intern is going to appreciate a lot if you do this for them, because it's just going to be like the end of of the internship, and they're going to finish the internship right, and also will let's make their experience so great that they don't want to leave France. Of course, we want to leave France, and then remember that experiences are about people. So if we just imagine if we it's going to be something very obvious, but if during an experience, usually and often when we travel, if we get a bad experience with people, if we met bad people, we're going to have a bad experience, and we're going to think like very bad things about the country. But if we have a good experience with people, like if we make friends, if we know that people in this place, like because I know that people in France are very kind and also are very friendly. If we let them know all these kind of things, they are going to have one of their best experiences in their life, and then they are going to promote ISEC, and then we're going to get more people to want to do more exchanges. So it's the job, I think the responsibilities that we have as ICX as are well huge, because we have to meet all the standards that we are promising, all the promises that we are giving them when we are convincing them to go in an AIESEC experience. Um, okay, something else, just well, after the farewell, of course, is the departure support, which is also one of the standards that we have to meet. And it means to let them know the means of transport they can use to get to the airport, or the means of transport that they can use to go out of the country. For example, if they are from the European Union, and also the times of first of buses or trains to arrive to the airport in case the airport is in another city. And it will also be very cool if you can go with the intern to to the last day, to go with them to the airport when they are leaving, because it will be like the culmination of their internship, and that's going to be a very cool and nice way to finish their experience. And again, if there is no departure support, that's a bad thing. So finally, during this whole presentation, you have seen what are the standards of satisfaction and how you can make them. And I think, well, if in the booklet of servicing and the booklet of migration, you have all the procedure, all the step by step what you have to do. So I think it doesn't have to be complicated. Um, so if you have any question about how to carry out the standards and satisfaction, please let me know. And if you have still any kind of question of any of the standards that we have to meet, please let me know also. Because again, if you don't meet the standards and satisfaction, that's a paddling, and that's going to be the major paddling. Because if we don't do it, it's going to affect the image of ISEC France and the promotion that we can get for the country, the promotion that also we can get for ISEC. So I think it's meeting the standards and satisfaction is just some of the minimum things that we have to do to give our interns the best experience of their life, and the best one of the best ISEC experiences that they can get. So please make sure that they meet them. Otherwise, I will be very, 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 very angry, and you don't want to see me angry. But I know that you will be meeting them, and that if you have any question, please, let me know. I am here open to any kind of question. Really, don't think that and any kind of question is intelligent. So please don't think that there are silly questions. So if you have any questions, because I see that there is some there. Um, so if you have any questions, or if you have any questions, you can always you can always contact Cesar, either Cesar or me, to our Facebook pages here, to Facebook, to our emails, or you can. I think you also have our contacts, or you can also put your comments in the post that I put in AIESEC France and iGIP. So please let us know your questions, and I think that will be it in that case. Okay, so see you, and please reach us if you have any comment or question. Bye.